Hi friends, Michelle here from the Common Sense Grandma. Today we are going to make two recipes. The first one is a sort of zuppa toscana from Olive Garden, and the other one is actually a recipe from the New York Times. It's a cucumber dill garbanzo bean salad, and it is delicious. But the first one we're doing here is the soup. And you just start out by browning some sausage. I used the chicken tomato basil sausage from Aldi. I put it in the food processor to grind it up to make it into smaller pieces. And then you just add your vegetables and your broth and let it go in the Instant Pot. And I think most Instant Pots do have the saute feature, which is so helpful. Of course, you could do this on the stove, but I find using the Instant Pot, especially in the summer, it just keeps the kitchen cooler and it, goes so much quicker. I think this soup, I cook it for just 10 minutes and then again another 2 minutes, which we will get to. But to start out, I'm just browning the chicken sausage and then we will add our vegetables. We have celery, onions, carrots, and eventually we will put in some zucchini and some kale. And I can see here, I should have moved my spoon. It was very much in the way. And I should have gotten out the other scraper thing to pick up all the vegetables. Sometimes I make things a little bit hard on myself, not thinking. This was a Sunday afternoon. The Dodger game was on, and it was kind of loud in the house between the game on TV, and I have two dogs in the kitchen there with me also. So I thought, well, I'll just do a voiceover instead of trying to talk. And I wanted to make sure I recorded this while I was making this soup because it's a winner. It's something you can really vary. And of course, it's one of our favorites when it's cooler outside. But I thought this would still be okay because you don't have to eat it when it's piping hot. And it was fine. My husband was very happy with it. But all you have to do is really brown up your sausage and your vegetables. And then I'm going to put in here some garlic. And when I edited the video, it was kind of funny because I spent almost 2 minutes looking for the garlic press in the drawers right below where I am. And it took me quite a while to find it. And in the meantime, I could have just chopped up the garlic. So that's what I ended up doing. So that's why it might look kind of funny here when we switch again. Slide, see, there you go. But add as much garlic as you want. I don't really have so much measurements for this. I kind of cook with my heart, but it is one package of the sausage and then just I think I did a whole onion, 2 carrots, 2 stalks of celery. I see there are 3 or 4 garlic cloves and then a zucchini. And I am putting zucchini in. Of course, the regular recipe does not call for it, but I have so much zucchini coming in from the garden that I felt this was a good way to use it up and to also bulk up the soup just to make it a little bit heartier. So what we're going to do here is just brown that garlic up a little bit, and then we will add the chicken broth and then just let it go for about 10 minutes in the Instant Pot, let it cook down and it gets some flavor there. Now I will say this soup was a little bit on the blander side for some reason, so if I were to make this again, I would actually add in some Italian seasoning and a little bit more salt. When you're using your home canned chicken broth, I don't usually add that much salt to it because whatever recipe I'm making, I can add more salt. And I do believe I should have added a little bit more salt into the soup and a little bit more seasoning, as in maybe some Italian seasoning. That would be good. But it was still delicious. We enjoyed it for a couple of days. I like to have leftovers, especially of soup or a stew, things like that, for the next day for lunch or for dinner, either one. And this weekend it was just the two of us at home. So I just made some easy food that we can enjoy for a couple of days. And so here I'm putting the lid on, and I'm going to let it go for 10 minutes. Now, I did get the beans out of the jar and I rinsed them ready to put in after the 10 minutes once the soup had cooled down. Now, something that I do every Sunday or Monday is I get some vegetables prepped for the week that we can use for lunches or just to snack on. It makes things so much easier ahead of time when you have these vegetables ready to go. And there's a variety of vegetables that I use. I normally would have some cucumber, but my cucumber plant, it likes to come in waves where I get maybe 6 or 7 cucumbers at a time. And so I didn't have any cucumbers that day. My husband also likes to have jicama. He really enjoys having that. So if you can get a good jicama where you are, I tell you, you never know uh, the jicama when you open it up if it's going to be good or old. They seem to put some sort of wax on it, which I do not appreciate. I know they're just trying to preserve it, but um, it makes it a little bit hard to cut up. Of course, you have to peel the jicama with a good knife to get it ready to go, but I just like to have these vegetables prepped. Even when I'm cooking, I can just grab some vegetables from here and just cut them up into whatever it is I'm cooking because they're already washed and ready to go, and it just makes meals so much easier. I also keep in the freezer, I have a container of onions already chopped, celery, and carrots. And that is just such a time saver when I'm trying to get dinner on the table quickly. You know, it's nice to be able to chop your vegetables up right when you're cooking there, but you know, we don't always have that time. So here I also have broccoli and cauliflower, and those are just delicious vegetables to have for a snack. My husband still works part-time, and when he's coming down the mountain, he has to go up over a pass, and he likes to munch on the vegetables while he's driving. Now here I am just adding in the zucchini, and I'm going to let it cook for another 2 minutes. And I will say that was not quite long enough. I'm also putting in the white beans. Use whatever beans you have, or of course, potatoes. I like the red potatoes in it. That's actually my favorite. But we were low on potatoes, and so I thought, well, let's use beans instead. I have done that before, and it was, you know, it's fine. It's delicious. Beans are good for you also. So we're going to let it go another 2 minutes here, but I would say next time do 3 or 4 just to make sure that zucchini is cooked down a little bit more and to get those flavors all together. See, I put 2 for 2 minutes. Next time I'll do probably 3 or 4. Now we are going to try another recipe here. This is the salad that I was talking about. You start with some Greek yogurt, just plain Greek yogurt. I buy the whole milk Greek yogurt, and I'm going to put in here a garlic clove. This is probably one of the best ways to get your garlic nice and small, especially since I couldn't find my garlic press. And I will put down in the notes below the ingredients that I used here. I was looking at my recipe here. Okay, olive oil, just a little bit. It doesn't need a whole lot because the yogurt is there also. And of course, salt and pepper. And there's my husband in the background, along with our crazy lab. She is a year and a half old. And excuse the towel on the floor. That is because the lab makes a mess when she drinks water. Here we're adding just a little bit of honey, just for a little bit of sweetness, and the juice of half a lemon, that which was actually plenty. I thought it might need more lemon, but the half a lemon was fine. I love lemon. I would take lemon over sweet things any day. I don't know why my taste buds are just like that. I like sour, lemon, vinegar, things like that. but we will be adding a chopped cucumber along with some fresh dill and the garbanzo beans. In the background there you see our 14-year-old cattle dog. All right, salt and pepper coming in. It did need a little bit more salt, as you will see in the end. Um, I started, because I was making a smaller recipe, probably a half size, and we try not to overdo it on the salt. See there, I'm tripping on the dog on the floor, which really upsets my husband. That's why he is standing there in the kitchen trying to get the dogs out. He's a physical therapist at a skilled nursing home. He has always worked in skilled nursing, taking care of the elderly. That's where his heart is. And he's afraid I'm going to be a patient one day by tripping. And shout out to my daughter here, my younger daughter, for her cucumbers. Since I didn't have any, she had extra. So this cucumber is actually from her garden. And for you moms and dads out there that have kids that are gardening, if you're a gardener, doesn't it just warm your heart when you see your children carrying on the tradition and that their children are learning and enjoying from the garden? It's just such a blessing. So I do take out the seeds, the middle part there, chop it up however you like. This is how I did it, about almost 1 inch or a little smaller. But I really enjoyed the salad. Now I will say, this is something that you kind of need to eat that day or maybe by the next day, because it did get a little bit watery. And here is some garbanzo beans and the fresh dill that we are going to put in, and that's it for this recipe. It was very easy. I happen to have everything on hand. I do get a farm box about once a month. I don't do it every week because my garden is producing, but my dill never came up, and so I was very happy to have this fresh dill. And I actually dehydrated the rest of the dill. I didn't get to use it all, so I put it in the dehydrator, and now I've got a nice jar of dill to use. With the garbanzo beans, I recommend that you do rinse them, drain them, and then I actually put them on this towel to get them dry. I didn't want to put it wet. See, I dropped a garbanzo bean, so one of the dogs is enjoying it. I miss our little dog. He passed away about a month ago. He was a Lhasa Maltese, and I could just yell hungries, and he would come running and eat whatever was on the floor. So now the big dogs are taking his place. So this is the whole recipe. I will add some salt and pepper. I think I end up adding a little bit more salt, but it was delicious. It reminds me of the sour cream cucumber recipe. I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about. You do put in a lot of grated garlic and sour cream and salt and pepper and cucumbers. This is similar, but of course with those garbanzo beans in there, you're getting some protein. So it's a great salad to have either with your dinner or lunch if you're having a sandwich or soup. It's something good that goes along with it. I really enjoyed. So see, I am adding a little bit more salt. And then next we will be getting back to the soup, finishing it up. Here we are, we're adding the kale, and you don't really have to cook it. You just have to pretty much stir it in, and it's good to go. It's a very, very easy soup here to make. I especially enjoy this in the winter, and I usually make some French bread to serve with it, maybe have a salad on the side. I do think with this soup, though, there's so many things you could do. You can even add in other vegetables. Here I'm adding just a little bit of half and half. That just adds a little bit of richness. Not a lot. It doesn't need a lot, just a little bit to make it a little bit creamy. But there are a lot of other vegetables that you could add. There it is. That's what it looks like. I did not get a picture of it. That's all for this week, friends. I thought I would just show you the dogs, just shaking my head. You know how it is with dogs.